Well, I'm camped out here in south central Idaho, Sawtooth Mountains, and I came down here for the Packgoat Rendezvous. All the best minds and most knowledgeable people dealing with pack goats happen to be here, and what a great opportunity. This is it's like goat college. There's someone like me who doesn't know really much has got the most to gain, really, because I'm starting out right here, and there's people here who've been packing goats for 40 years, and I've been doing it for 3 weeks. So, at any rate, that's what I come down here for. It's Thursday night. People are pulling in. I'm just really kind of road weary. I need to get away and find my own place. Make sure I get some sleep because I need to be ready and awake for tomorrow. It'll be Friday. There'll be a lot of people talking, little seminars on everything from first aid, microchipping, the politics and all that. And I need to be awake for that. And so I drove quite a bit from northwest Montana, and I've been looking forward to this. So, anyways, I'm not sure what this video is how it's going to be in. I don't really video other people. I don't know necessarily etiquettes of that, and where lines of plagiarism. If I'm filming somebody and then I put it on my channel, I really don't know. So I'm not sure how this video is going to turn out. But my intention is not bring attention to myself or even my channel, really, other than to introduce this to other people, and for other people that are already in it, maybe they see something in my video or whatever, it's worthwhile. But my main purpose here is to get people to take a look at this as an option for getting into backcountry, packing out elk and bear, and even if it's just a day hike, going in with the family, and there's benefits, and there's a whole wide range of goats to fit your needs, small goats, big goats, and so we'll just see how it goes, and I hope I do some respect to these people, because they're very respectful people, knowledgeable people. So, thanks for watching.
I can get 3-4 fingers in there. That's too loose.
You're fine. Yeah, you're okay. You don't have to keep this on very long.
Squeeze on them a little bit.
Okay, I can get 2 fingers in there
Just
snugly. If you can get 3 fingers, tighten up just a little bit. And then I just take the spaghetti.
Yeah, this saddle has a lot of spaghetti.
And you just tuck it under, and boom. You're there to go. Now this saddle is solid to the goat. It's not going anywhere.
Now
it's solid.
He's going to do the panniers, but the panniers attach here and here so they don't flop.
I'll show him that.
Hey Clay, I have a question.
Right there. And then you have this.
That's what holds the pannier on so that it cannot come off.
And then that holds it on. I'm not going to buckle it up right now, but that holds it on. Every now and then on his older panniers,
when they'd sit down,
he had a little minor thing. It wasn't a big deal, but these will hook here, and here, and then you just kind of.
and with a full load, when the boat is sit
now when
down,
he
they
jumps,
go like this.
When he jumps,
See what just happened?
it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to
it won't
fly up
come
like
off.
that when he jumps.
But on the newer ones, it attaches straight
Yeah,
here,
this
so
is
it
the new
doesn't
one
do
here.
that.
They're on the outside, so it can't. They used to be in the middle, and it would pivot when they would sit down or something. Oh, it's off. Okay.
I did
Push,
that. I showed
and you just click it right on without even stopping, and then make sure this is tight and not a big deal. So.
Okay.
So, shock She did go through shock quite a bit, and the symptoms with just being you're glassy eyed. I mean, most of us know our animals. You're going to know if you've got a heat stroke and shock, they're going to just start acting really sick. If you can get a pulse, you're not going to find it's weak, rapid, thready. Most of your medical people will know how to check for shock just looking at it. But that pale, the gums, the eyelids, you've got to go through some trouble. You need to stop. The big one's going to be hydration. But one of my other favorite tricks, and people and goats alike. Hold that for a second. I grabbed it here somewhere. Oh,
is it on? So, I was just gonna say
Go
while
ahead.
you're doing that, for dehydration, so you can't always make a goat drink, but you can syringe them, and so we usually have like Gatorade. Is that what you're gonna say?
That syringe is multi-purpose, and if you got a little rubber hose on the end of that thing, you got another
yeah. So you'll have to drench them that way, and hopefully you have some electrolytes on you too.
So, and those syringes are easily found at the farm store. 50cc syringes I find are too big. The 35cc's, that's this one. Again, back flush your water filter, irrigate a wound, and put a small rubber hose on there, and now you have a drenching syringe. I also found that fruit flavored Gatorade, not the lemon lime, but the fruit flavored Gatorade powder. Cherry specifically, yes. Good for men who don't drink, and I wake up in the middle of the night with muscle cramps. I'm like, and obviously when my goats, but I rarely worry about my goats and dehydration. I have adults and they're pretty darn good at drinking water, but it's always there if you did get into that shock situation. In this heat, that could happen.
Whatever electrolyte, make sure it don't have sugar in it. Goats do not react well to sugar.
The Gatorade certainly does have sugar, but I use it so dilute. All I'm doing is baiting them to get their nose in the water, and it's usually all it takes. And that and the you ever do that Alpine apple cider powder?
Yes.
Same thing. All I got to do is smell something in that water, and they'll pound it down, thinking there's an apple in the bottom of the hole. But so we're back on the subject of shock. This is an $18 Primatene Mist inhaler you can buy at any farm store, any Rite Aid pharmacy. And there, in this book, it talks about the Primatene Mist inhaler. 3 to 5 squirts sprayed directly under the tongue into the mucous membranes. You now have a really powerful vasoconstrictor. Obviously, if you were using it for asthma, it would just be a puff or two. I'm talking dumping half a syringe again, this is transferable over to humans. You got somebody into shock. These cheap Primatene Mist inhalers are, if you don't have a prescription for an EpiPen, they go out date-wise a lot longer than your EpiPens, and I think EpiPens used to be about $100, and those things are $18. And I'll run them 3 or 4 years past their expiration date. However, I've never tried it, but I've read it, and Carolyn did mention that in her book. And then Benadryl, also one of my favorite sleeping aids at night, but they have that in here for shock too. And that they're referencing more towards the allergic shock. And I have had my goats go pounding through hornet's nest, not once but twice, just to make sure they needed to get to that bush. She talks about poisonous plants versus toxic plants, and I've always found it interesting. Not real valuable information in the woods, but toxic plants build up over time, and that's where the goat gets sick. Whereas a poisonous plant, it said, will provoke symptoms almost immediately, and that's kind of your difference. But again, that difference will be little constable out in the woods. And she has some nice pictures in here, but I tell you, if you go to your county extension and get a toxic plant book, they have, and I wish I'd brought mine. Idaho has a great toxic plant book, but the book is referenced more towards horses, cows, and sheep. But in it, you'll see some lovely pictures at different phases of a plant's life. And this one, she mentions rhododendrons, azaleas, mountain laurel, water hemlock, Pacific yew, death camas, nightshade, and false hellebore. And I just highlight that because my goats will pummel false hellebore to the root repeatedly. And I have to run through an area when I see false hellebore, usually in a wet, low-lying, shady area. Never had any trouble with it, but again, I would never camp in an area with false hellebore. But those guys, if I turn my head, they'll take a plant this tall and just. So I know it's supposed to be extremely tall. Have you ever had any experience with false hellebore? Of course, you're up in dry country too, with clay.
Death camas we have. We lost 2 goats about 8 years ago because it's the first green to come up in the spring,
And they want to go
and
get
the
green.
bullies will eat that first, and they're the first ones to die. But yeah, we have lost 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, never,
Less than 24 hours are gone. Just boom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that quick.
and I know when you get into that, it is very quick. So the ingredients, again, I do not I have carried it on the trail, but I honestly have found my goats kind of know. I've just not had any trouble with it. But I always have this thing in my pack, and your ingredients are your Epsom salts, which you can find in a small bag. I also find very helpful for soaking injured hoofs and sore feet. Yep, ground ginger. So and you'll see the recipe. It's 2 to 3 tablespoons of Epsom salts, a teaspoon of ginger, baking soda, salt, all 1 teaspoon each, and 2 tablets of that Pepto-Bismol crushed up. And you can actually, if you've ever been into REI, those little, when you put mustard and ketchup in these little squeeze tubes where you open the bottom, put all that powder in those squeeze tubes, and then you've got enough to kind of get through a couple of doses, what she's talking about, and like redosing them every 4 hours. I could.
So what you're going to want to do is first you're going to want to clean off their teat. People usually have some wipes that they do on them. And then you're going to squeeze. You want to get out that first part because whatever's in that chamber could have dirt in it. So you squeeze out and it's wasted. You do the other side also. Start from the top and squeeze down. So you squeeze with your thumb and
like
fork.
this,
Oh, okay.
and then that way. There you go.
There we go.
Do the other side.
There's some chains on there. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, throw it in this cup.
Oh.
She's like, you're an amateur.
She's hurting on that one.
Yeah, she is sensitive. I mean, she's full.
Okay, so you want some in your cup? Oops.
That's pretty good.
Is that it?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I don't feel any kind of a offensive, challenging taste or it's acquired taste or anything. That just was pretty natural.
That was nice. Do you need more?
That's fine. That's
No,
fine.
no, no. She
Okay.
needs to be milked.
Okay.
So here, I'll hold the bottle. Why don't you just fill his cup up?
That's probably good. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for sharing that.
So
I've
what-
done calves, but it's been
Okay,
quite
wait.
a
What am I
while.
going to press? That
Yeah,
button there?
just hang on. But just don't cover up the microphone. 'Cause
Yeah.
Come on, get out.
Then you get to see what kind of sodas we drink. And you watch the tail wag.
I mean, some of them are bigger, you know.
Yeah.
She wants more. That's
And another
it.
thing
That's
I was
it.
thinking about that people,
She shouldn't be having. She's down to 1 a day, really. That's just because we're up here.
yeah, these are calcium carbonate stones that were taken out of one of my male weather goats who, when they snipped what they call the pizzle, which is the urethral process, the tip of the penis, his bladder drained because he was clogged at that urethral process. And this is most of the stones that came out immediately after they snipped that, along with his bladder completely flushing of urine.
I should have brought some potato chips.
No, you got to put up.
Should have brought some potato chips. No. All right, so let me walk him back around here so I can bring it back on. Yeah, the biggest thing for him is just to kind of let him. It's okay, Bubba. Come here.
It makes that sound. Like you brought the rubber pad for.
He's actually a super social role player. There you go. Yeah. Okay, we're off.
Oh my God.
How big is he?
211. He's 204.
He's gained a few pounds.
9. He should be gaining weight at 9.
Why not? I'm still not.
You're feeding him well. And so I can sit on the side, just put the front hoof up and do it right here without putting my knee underneath them. Hold it up and keep them balanced that way.
It may be just the one side has got the wall. I take
Yes.
the body and hold it in place.
Exactly.
See, look how that just brought those together so nice. Just a couple clips, and it's all it took. So now we're going to flatten this hoof out. You're okay. You're okay. We're going to get rid of all this garbage. This is what your dogs will come and eat if they're around. They'll devour it.
Can you make glue with that? Can you make glue with those hoofs?
Well, I don't, but I suppose you could.
My lottery ticket.
I usually end up a couple bucks short.
Well, when I'm gone, all my goats,
Spending so much on your things to save those, package them, dog treats.
There you go. Just got to grow them out first.
There you go. So yeah, I'm donating all that in my will to NAPgA.
We're going to get some of this with the file because it's just you can't always get it with the trimmer, but we'll get most of it. You know, we're already starting to look like a foot here again.
Here they are. These are the Northwest.
And that one heel is really out of control.
I see you're using those good hoof trimmers. Yeah. They're made out of tool steel, so they don't want.
That's awesome.
See the little bit of pink right there?
Rose trimmers.
That's as far as we need to go. We don't need to go any further than that.
So do I. Sometimes you don't get one goat.
They don't get those.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, buddy.
They're called ARI.
ARS.
ARS is the company who makes them, but you can buy them from Valley Vet.
This knife is O1 tool steel. It has an O. See the O imprinted into it? That means O1 tool steel.
Yeah.
Any metal that has a letter that precedes it, like A1, A2, is a tool steel.
Yeah,
D2 is a
that's
tool steel.
That whole thing is made out of it, except for the handle. Valley Vet. Right? Valley Vet online, they sell. They're about $35. Sometimes they have sales on them. They are the best. Do you want to wear a glove like he's doing?
Yeah. Like, stab. Oh, that was.
Oh, those things will, you know, got kicks like on the back leg. He kicks from just when you squeeze it, he can cut your finger.
Yeah.
Those things I have no problem cutting fingers.
Yeah.
It will work on the nylon.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
We got a foot again, see?
Beautiful.
And then I'll flip it over to the fine side and just do the nanny care thing. You don't have to do that. I just do it because I like to. I think it just kind of finishes it. I'm not a farrier. I'm just a cop. But it's just, you know, I want to get those little rough edges off of there. If this was a competition and some judge was going to come and look at this foot when I was done, I want it to look absolutely perfect for him. So I just take those burrs off.
So
You're okay, buddy. Just a little manicure. We're almost there, buddy. And then I got that tip. Just finish that tip.
Round it a little bit.
Yeah. Now how's that for a deer hoof?
Looks good to me.
Okay. See how these come together? This is what you want, guys. You want to get these feet together. So get your pictures of that. You saw what it looked like when we started. You saw those points that are coming out in the heel here.
Did it have a bulb on the inside?
Yeah. And we just trim those off, file them down. That's what I used the rough side of my file for. You saw how I got that in there. Spread it with your fingers. Get that file in there. Round out those corners. It'll bring those feet together. Now he's going to walk like a mountain goat, okay? okay? Look at this. He's gonna walk like a mountain goat. And you do this every 3 weeks, these will start to come together better, and you're gonna have a pack goat, okay? I learned this through trial and error. I watched Rex Summerfield do it. I went to work on my goats, and I wasn't afraid to go in there and just do it. And this is what I have found that works perfect. I don't write books, I don't give classes, and I don't tell people I'm an expert. This is what works for me. It might work for you. Okay?
He does a good job. That's nice.
Couple jack cheese with it too. One of my, out of the stuff I had made with the bear, it's one of my favorite things I had done. These particular ones.
Dog.
He was a buck for us, so that's why his horns are so big. They, if you don't band them early, then the extra testosterone gives them more muscle mass and bigger horns, but the trade-off is that they don't get as tall. So he would probably be a 37, 38 inch goat if we hadn't kept him intact. So we kept him intact for 2 years. But the cool thing about it is that we have his daughter and his grandson with us as well. So, so Calamity is 2 years old, and then Boomer, her little baby, is 2 months old, and he's one of the biggest goats that we've ever produced as far as baby goes.
Area. It was a way station where they would stop for the night before they took the teams back on over and got them up to that Livingston mine. So yeah, this was kind of the spot, and there used to be a little more development here. We used to actually have a toilet and some camp spots, but that we had to decommission that several years before Halstead fire. And then when Halstead came through, it took what was left of the cabin ruins out. But I still kind of want to commemorate the site and kind of, this sign, I don't even know, this sign predates me. I've been working on this forest since '89. So, and this sign has always been here in this spot, and I kind of really wanted to get it back up, so.
We got enough people, we could probably erect a cabin here.
Yeah, you probably could.
In a day.
Start, like, pulling in.
I got a chainsaw.
Well, we can have it done in 2 hours even.
Yeah, you do. Considering we were only thinking there was going to be like 5 or 6 of you. So.
We got enough wood, we can do it.
Yeah, you could. We could.
What's the goal? Just the sign, and then do we need to clean up the area?
You know, the sign was my main goal, was to get the new posts and the sign up, and then you know, because we have so many more folks, I was thinking maybe we could kind of do with all the rigs, we could do kind of a leapfrog back down the road. I wasn't seeing a lot of garbage, but if you walk, a lot of times you don't have to get off very far to start seeing cans and bottles and stuff. So I was thinking if folks wanted to do something like that, that would make a pretty good use of the crowd we have here. So
I'd be willing to just start.
Yeah.
You got a hammer. There's a hammer.
Yeah, there's a hammer.
Right over there.
Drill the bottom ones.
Well, I need to ream the bottom one out
adjustment tool.
probably here.
You betcha.
So someone can tilt this up. Those fit in this?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, we could always make a small hole bigger, but that's the other way around.
See where we are.
But it's 55, you said?
Oh, 50.
That's outside the
outside.
Wow.
52 to the center.
Okay, who's got the level?
I can see that side's got to come. Well, not too much. We want to bury this more, right?
This side goes down a little.
It looks
We're
like
about a foot and a half.
this side's a little high, just looking at it. But I don't know
Looks a little high?
It looks. I don't know what the level says.
Oh yeah, you can see the bubble. I can feel when you put it in there. This one's sitting up. Read that earlier.
Job specialization here.
I've done 2 of them already.
Okay, give me a mark here.
They move right about 3. Just kidding.
Makes you special in the eyes of the people you interact with. And if you can tell them the value of a goat, then we can change the concept. Now, and two, I forgot this piece. This is so critically important. I have to express on a level that it'll difficult for me to not get bleary-eyed about it, is the gratefulness that I have for the members of this community that led the way. Dave, you deserve a lot of gratitude from all of us in the community as somebody who saw in the future, have been doing it as a participant, as somebody who, and you're that guy that just kind of stays quiet and you got lots of stuff running around in your head. And I'd love to sit down to dinner and really probe and ask questions because I know you're a brilliant and thought out man in this sport. But you paved the way as a consumer and as a participant. Clay, you guys are super critical in this movement. All this groundwork that was done that I got to walk in that was in place was because of people like you. Dwight, your innovation and your knowledge and your brilliance, all those things I'm extremely grateful for. And there's other members of this community that have done that deserve our cumulative gratitude. They deserve thanks, which thank you guys all. And I want you to know that not only am I deeply grateful, I respect you. And I respect you in your individuality, because anyone who stands in this stage and says there's only one way to pack goats is not accurate. There's lots of ways, and we get to celebrate those differences, and we get to learn from those differences. And so I really want to be clear that in that spirit, it is an evolution though. We are learning how to do this better and different, and without innovators and without new thinkers, we're going to stop growing. And so I'm super grateful for people like me.
There you go.
No?
I know.
Jacob,
All that time cooking.
About 45 bucks.
Spent all that time. Was she your granddaughter? Oh.
2 to 3.
Yeah, my granddaughter's 5 now, and she hikes.
That was the way to fit the biology and build their foundation. Folks cringing
It's a good way to raise them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Camping, doing this kind of stuff.
I'm actually thinking about going there. It was huge. I was looking at doing a drop camp with him.
They're the ones with the goats.